Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. It's Diana Rankin here. And we see Sheila. Sheila, so I was thinking about you this morning. Hadn't seen you for a few weeks and was a little concerned. So I'm so glad to see you here. Welcome from Amsterdam. We are doing well. We hope you are. Gaida. Hello, everyone from Gaida in Woodridge, Illinois, USA. Please pray for my sister, Paula Anderson, who is in the hospital. Blessings to all of you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. We certainly will hold her in healing energy and in our hearts as well. Absolutely. So, prayers for Paula Anderson, for Gaida's sister going out for healing with healing energy. Juliet Tanner says, hello, everyone, and sends smiley faces up for us. I want to thank Judy for the question and hearts. Thanks. Hearts are coming up too. And I want to thank Judy for the question. I always say, the questions just always surprise me. It's like, yeah, I probably know the answer to that. And then Philip always says something I never thought of. And so it just helps me grow and learn as well. So we're going to answer our question today, which is why do so many humans think that animals are lesser beings than us? Interesting question. And honestly, I really was surprised at what Philip came up with. I didn't, I thought about that question. I thought, oh gosh, what could we even say on that? And got the answer, which we're going to read in a moment. Sandra says, hello, sisters. So glad to have you with us today. And Sheila adds, hello, everyone. Happy Friday. So good to have you all here. And Akila, haven't seen you for a while. And she says, hello, family. We're so glad to see you. I think it's been a couple of weeks, hasn't it? Am I could be wrong there. Forgive me if I am. But I'm glad to see you, Akila. Okay, we're also going to get an answer from one of my books, the Master's Book of Answer. And as you know, it's just an oracle book that every page has a different wisdom saying on it. And we'll get that right after I read the answer. Debbie, hello. She says, Diana, hello, family. Good to see you. And Akila says, yes, missing everyone. Well, we're glad to have you back. Someone asked me, why do you read what's written here? And that's because, number one, I want to interact with you if you're live. Well, not that if you're live on this video, I guess I should say. And two, not everybody sees if you watch just the video, you don't always see what has been written here. Real quickly, I want to say if you have a question, just put it in the comments below, and we're happy to address those questions. I do ask if you have personal questions, contact me personally and we'll set up a session for you. These are more general questions to interest of our whole audience. I have thought maybe I should do one of the Fridays, an hour or so, just answering personal questions that people send in. And I might do that. We'll see. Next week will be the predictions for November. Interesting world we live in, isn't it? Okay. Excuse me. Let's see what Philip has to say about the question, why do so many humans think that animals are lesser beings than us? Those of us who love animals don't think that, do we? But some people do. I don't know. We might think maybe an ant is lesser or a spider or something. Here's what Philip says. It is important to state that animals are not lesser beings than humans and are even greater beings than humans in some cases. That latter concept is difficult for many humans to grasp. This is because what is lesser or greater than a human is based on human values rather than the full value of all life. If we look at the full value of all life, do we not then see the value of the pollinator, For this one helps to sustain life for the humans. Excuse me. Do we not then see the value of the bear who teaches humans rest is needed to wake up? Or do we not learn love from the cat or dog? Do we not learn from the raccoon that we are to look beyond the mask worn by other humans? These are a few examples that Philip gives us, and I think they're pretty right on. Okay. Sorry. There we go. I touched the mouse and it put something up there on the screen. I don't know if you saw it on yours or if it just came up on mine. But anyway, move the mouse. Okay, back to this. You ask why. I say we. Why we? Which includes those in spirit world as well as the human on earth. This is because the human's evolution continues in spirit world. One does not jump into a greater understanding or higher order of spirit as they pass. So just because we've died doesn't mean we're suddenly all-knowing and all spiritual. Understanding of truth takes the desire to grow spiritually and the will to do the work. This comes about as a being moves through the stages of spiritual development. We remind you the development of spirit life is quite similar to human phases, young or new souls, middle souls, and old souls. And I do have a video on that, the different stages of souls, if you want to look that up. Most go through these developmental stages. This is not to say, however, that a young soul is not developed spiritually, just as you would not say there are no child geniuses. There are. Many young souls grasp the importance of other species. Many love all, regardless of any understanding. This is also true of many children as well. As a soul grows into the middle developmental stages, they lose the innocence of the young soul's wonder and unconditional love. Is this not also true of humans as they move away from the very young, innocent age? Yes, it is, isn't it? As the soul and the human move to the next stage, they lose, as the soul and the human move to the next stage, they lose their innocence and are driven by the ego. For human life, the ego is to develop. However, it does not develop the same for all. For those who do not know who they are, they become unsure of themselves and cover this uncertainty of self by convincing the human mind they are better than the other. This includes all species of life and nature. When it says this includes all species of life and nature, they're talking about if you're caught in your ego, you think you're better than nature, you think you're better than other humans, you think you're better than animals. And that's only because you yourself are not feeling sure of who you are. When we know who we are, truly are, we learn to love animals. And if we're loving animals and we're saying, well, I'm not sure I know who I am, you do know who you are. It may not be in the forefront of the consciousness, but it's there because you know the truth is your love. Philip goes on to say, this, we believe, answers your question. We would like to add our own question to this. How do we help those who are unable to see the value of all animals, humans, nature? Just if you're a middle soul and caught in ego, Philip wants to tell the rest of us who have kind of gone through that and are older souls, he wants to tell us how we can help the middle souls. Or if we've grown wise in our life on earth, how can we help those who could use a little wisdom? Not that we are done, not that we've grown so wise we're done by any means. The answer is rather simple, but often hard to do. You love them. You love the spirit that is them. And at the same time, you hold them accountable for their behavior, doing so without judgment. When possible, you educate. Always do so in a loving manner. Do not fret, for this only harms you and adds no growth to the other. Instead, love the animals and send them kind and loving thoughts. Now do the same for the other to help them grow. And most importantly, do the same for yourself, sending yourself kind and loving thoughts. I always read that last paragraph. Do not fret, for this only harms you and adds no growth to the other. Instead, love the animals and send them kind and loving thoughts. Now, do the same for the other to help them grow. And most importantly, do the same for yourself, sending yourself kind and loving thoughts. Sheila says, my cat sleeps with me in bed every night. Oh, I know what that feels like. And it is a beautiful feeling. Thank you, Sheila. Debbie also sent us some spider webs and spiders. And, you know, I always, if something comes in my house, a little critter, I try to carry it outside so I don't have to have it in my house. If I can't, I will, with a prayer, send it off to spirit world. So I am not telling you never kill a spider. I am saying if you do, say a prayer. I live in the country, so I see a fair amount of roadkill. And I always say a prayer. And my prayer is very simply, bless you, bless the one who took your life, bless all who partake of your giveaway, and bless, and I always would say Piper or whomever, and now it's down to Andy and me. I recommend saying a prayer because it's very hard to see for me, and I think for most of you who listen to me, who are part of this family, part of this community, I think it's hard to see an animal die or an animal already dead. And just saying that little bless you, bless me prayer helps. At least it helps me a lot. I pass that along, hoping it will help you. All right, let's get our message, shall we? Okay, I'm hearing left. That's page 44. If you heard left, we're in sync psychically. If you heard right, that's a message you need to pay attention to. So on the left, page 44, it says, to learn of God, look within. To learn of God, look within. You know, religion has put God without, has made God something that is way out there. We are all part of what God is. God is love. Whatever religion or spirituality you practice, God is love. And if your God is anything other than love, that's not God. So to learn of God, look within. All right, my friends. And if this is page 45, if you heard right, you never lose when you reach out in love. You never lose when you reach out in love. Thank you, my friends, for loving us. I want to also just take a quick moment and say thank you for your donations. I hope you've noticed, I don't know, a year or so ago, I got rid of the commercials because it just didn't seem right to put the commercials in the middle of something spiritual that I was talking about, and especially on the meditations that are on the YouTube. So I want to thank you, those of you who have, and those of you who have just said a prayer. That's fine too. But those who have sent a donation, I'm deeply grateful. Thank you. Sheila says, thank you, Diana. And Holly Kay says, thank you so much for your messages. Well, thank you, Holly. We're glad to see you here. Thank you all for the love that you give, first of all, to yourselves. Thank you for the love you give to our world. And we are so grateful for the love you send to us. And thank you for the love that you allow yourself to receive from us. I love you, my friends. And I'm so grateful that you're here. And if you have questions of a general nature that would be of interest to our whole audience, just put them in the comments below. If you want to get a hold of me, my phone number is on the website. Just give me a call and we will get you set up for your private appointment. Um, and I think that's everything for today. See you next Friday, if not before. I love you. And thank you for the smiley faces and the hearts that are just floating up and out into our world today. Thank you all. See you soon. Bye.